Hey guys, what's going on? This is Ataway here, back with another video on the channel, and today we are going to make a glass UI generator. So what this does is this just makes this box a little blur, which represents the glass UI for who doesn't know about it. And here you can also change the border radius according to you. Then you can set the color. For me, I'll just keep it white, and we can also change the alpha parameter of it, so that you can change the transparency. So like this, so you can increase the blur, you can keep it accordingly, and here you have the CSS code now, and now you can copy this and use it in your own project. How cool is that? So hit the like button if you like this, and today we are going to make this exact same generator using React. So let's go ahead and start coding it. So here we are in our terminal. Now what we need to do to make a React app, that's we do that in every video of us. So let's do that. npx create React app. Oh no. And now I will give it a name. So for now I will say class UI generator YouTube. So this will take some time. According to your system, this might take some time. It usually takes time, but if you have a faster system, this will just be finished in like seconds. Now once you see the happy hacking thing here in the terminal, that means your React app is made. Now what you need to do, you need to change directory. So you need to do cd glass UI generator yt, and inside this you open this in your Visual Studio Code. So I'm using the insiders version of code, so I'll do code insiders dot, but for your case maybe it might be code dot, because you might be using the normal version of Visual Studio Code. Or if you're not using Visual Studio Code, you might want to see how to open folders in your text editor. So for now I'll just say enter, and now this should open Visual Studio Code for me. Now I need to clean up something, but before cleaning up, let's start our React app and let's see if it's working or not. So here I'll do npm start, and this should open up my Chrome, and this should run the React app. Let's see. Let's wait for it. Yeah, that's perfect. If you see this screen, that means your React app is successfully installed without any errors. Now let's go ahead and start cleaning things up. So for now I'll just go here. We don't need app.test.js, we don't need the logo, and we don't need setup tests. So I'll just delete them, we don't need. And now here what we will go do is, yeah, you see this error, right? This is because in app.js we have the mention here about the logo. So since we removed the logo, we remove this mention too, and we don't need anything inside this. We just remove everything, and we will rename this to app, and we are going to follow a BEM convention, which I will cover in a later video, but that's basically a naming convention for the styles in your app. So now I'll go in the app.css, I'll remove everything here, we don't need anything here. In index.css, I'm gonna go here, and I'm gonna select all elements. I'm gonna remove the margin and padding for everything, so that it is set to default, and we can do our own magic instead of the browser unknowingly putting everything without our wish. So yeah, box sizing should be border box. Perfect. Now if we go back to Chrome, you will see that this is a blank screen, and that's perfectly fine because we actually removed everything. Now what we need to do now, if okay, let me open screen brush for this. So what we will do is we will make the screen in two parts. First we will divide it into the first 50%, and here we have all the controls. So in controls, what we have the blur, we have the border radius, and here we have a color box. That's simply for this fun, and we don't need anything else here. Now on the other side, on the other screen, I need a background so that I can see the glass UI perfectly, and so that we can check the blur. And here in the middle I need a box, a huge box, and what will happen is all the data will be passed to this component as props, and what this will do is it will change its style, so that if we change the blur, the effect will be shown here. So let's start doing this right now. So let me just close screen brush, perfect. Now let me just switch the desktop so that it works perfect. Yeah, that's cool. Let me just also get rid of the dock. Perfect. Now what we do is we go to app.js and we start doing this thing. So what we will do is we will just set the other box component as a different component. So let's make it first. So we'll make box container.js. You can name it anything you want, but I'm naming it box container.js. And here I will use the React snippets, so I will just use RFC and I'll hit enter, and it will make the snippet for me, the template for me. And now here I will add the class name of box container, again following the BEM convention. Perfect. Now here I also need to make a CSS file called box container.css, and I'll just link this file in the main component file, and we do that by saying import box container.css. Perfect. We just basically included it in this file. Now what we need to do, let's divide this screen into two parts. So what will happen is, first we have a controls section. So in app controls, so if you're wondering why we are using double underscore, that's because it's the naming convention. We are using BEM naming convention, so that's why. But basically you can just name it anything you want, but we are just going to name this as per the BEM conventions. And in app controls, I want this to take up 50% of the screen. So how do I do that? So let's try to do that right now. First of all, what I need to do is I need to give flex to app. So how do I do that? I'll go to app.css, I'll say app, I'll give it a flex. Now I'll give it a display of flex. I'm gonna give it a height of 100 VH. I'm gonna give it a width of 100%. Perfect. Now I can just go here in app controls, I'll just give it a flex of 0.5. so flex can be anything which would be equal or less than 1. So what does it mean? Like 0.5 means the 50% of screen, 0.7 means the 70% of screen. That's how the flex works. So I'll just give it a background color of Alice blue for now, and let's check how's this going. Perfect. Now if you can see, we have the blue color section here and this here. Now what we need to do is we need to place the other component in the other side of the page. So how do we do that? I'll just place the component here. So I'll write box container, and if you notice, Visual Studio Code gives us the option, and now I can just auto import this thing here. Now I can just do this like his, and now if I go here, I'm going to give it a flex of 0.5 again, so that basically it's the child of the app, so it will take half the space here. So let me show you. So I'll go to box container, I'll give it a flex of 0.5, and I'll give it a background color of maybe antique white. Yeah, so if you can see, we have the screen split, and now we can place the controls. Now we can place the controls in this side of the screen, and other stuff in this side of the screen, basically the box in which we are going to apply all the CSS properties. So let's do this right now. So if we go here, now we need to start making controls. So how are we gonna bring in controls? We need to install a package called Material UI. So let's do it. I stopped the server. Now I will do npm install Material UI, and we need to install the core. Now this is a quick process. This won't take a lot of time. Let's just wait for it to complete. Till then we can just go to app.js and start further coding. Now what I want in app.js, okay, let me show you. First I'll just write hi here. Now if you write, oh yeah, the server is not started, I need to start the server again. npm start. This will start my React app again. Let's wait for it. Yeah, now if you can see, there's a hi written here, but what I want is I want everything to be centered in the dead center. So how are we gonna do that? So if you see, app controls has taken the 50% of the screen, right? Now 50% of the screen means I can just make it have everything in the center. How can I do that? By using flex. So let's do that. Let's go to app.css and let's give it a display flex. I'll do align item center and justify content center. Now look at the magic. It just comes through dead center, and that's what we want. Now we can just start placing our controls, and we can just start making states, and now we are going into the interesting parts. So let's do that right now. So let's go to app.js. Now here, instead of hi, first of all I need to greet the user, so I'll just say class UI generator. Perfect. Yeah, this is absolutely perfect. Now here, now I need to make an app control. Now notice how app controls is different from app control. The app controls encloses everything, every component and every control, but app control is basically a single control. So I will show you what a control means. So here I will just write, first of all, what we need. First of all, we need the blur. Now I will include the slider here. So if you see, it auto imported it once I pressed enter. Now if I do like this, and now if I save this, something is wrong. Oh yeah, this is compiling. So basically when you first do Material UI, it will take some time to compile. So now why is this happening? Why is this not showing below this? This is because we have just used flex, and what flex defaultly does is it just lines everything in a line. So what we do, we provide flex direction to be column. Now it will just come back down, and that's awesome. Now what we need to do here, we need to go here, and we will also provide an input type text so that we display the values actually. So if we go here, now perfect. Now what the thing is that we cannot style this using CSS, so we can use the style components, and that's very easy. That's like writing normal CSS. So let's do this. First of all, what I want is I want the three of these things. Let me show you. I want, oh no, screen brush, come on. I want all of these three controls to be in a line so that I can just do it big like this. So how do I do that? Let me show you. I know half of you must have guessed it. We are going to use flex. So let's copy this class. I'm going to need it. I'm going to app.css. Now I need to provide a dot because it's a class. Now I'll do display flex. Now if I go back here, perfect, but the problem is that the slider is, oh no, oh boy. So okay, so what I need to do, first of all, I'll just go here in app.js. I'll provide it a style attribute because you cannot style this using CSS, and that sucks. So I'm just gonna use style components, and Material UI supports that. So let's do this. I'll provide it a width of maybe 200, and you don't need to write pixels here, it's automatically pixels. Now if you see, this is done. Now I'll just provide it a margin left and a margin right to push these things. So let's do that right now. Margin left to be, I guess I should give it a margin, basically just a margin, so that we have a lot of space from all the sides. Perfect. Oh no, okay, I don't want to give that because that's just breaking things up. Margin left, I'll just give like 20. Margin right, I'll give 20. Now if I save this, yeah, but now notice that these things are not aligned properly. So how do I fix that? I'll go to app.css. I'll just give it align items of center. Now look at this. Now everything is centered. Now this is what we want. Now we can just change the styles, and we can just give it a margin for top. We are going to do that right now, so let's do that first. So I'm going to go here. Now instead of styling everything, the input, so I'm just gonna use style components here too. So I'm gonna do width like 50. We don't want a huge box, we just need a small box. Yeah, perfect. So here, that's perfect. And now what we want to do is we are gonna give the app control a margin top so that we have a adequate spacing. So margin top, I need to go give like 20 pixels. Let's try. Yeah, perfect. Now I want the slider to actually work. So what are we gonna do? Now let's go here. Now I need to make some states. Now let's think of what things we need. So first of all, we need blur, and then we need the border radius. Now we need to make states for it. So let's make a state which names like maybe blur, set blur, and we are going to use the state. Again, I'll just press enter, and React will Visual Studio Code will auto import it. By default blur, I want to give it 10. Let's do it, because by default value I want to give it 10. Now I'll give it a const. Again, I'm going to make another state which is border radius. Oh no, set border radius, and I'm gonna give it a use state, and I'm gonna give it a border radius of 20 right now. So let's see how this works. Now let us give the slider a value of that. So is it value? Yeah, so value should be blur, because this one is for blur. And what I need to do is on change. Now this is something with material UI. Okay, something is wrong. Yeah, now what I need to do, there are two parameters. One is the event and the other is value, and we need the value, so we use this. And now what we do, we do set blur, and we take out the value from here. So whenever the slider changes, we get the new value in the state. That's perfect. And now here what I want, I need to display the value, so I'll just do value and I'll set it to blur. Perfect. Now if I go here, now you can see it's 10. Now I can just change it. Perfect. Now wait, let me just refresh this. Yeah, now this is absolutely perfect. You can see the values changing here. Now let's do that. Let's do the same with border radius. Now I'm just gonna copy this thing here, and I'm gonna paste it again for border radius. I'll just say border radius. Now here I'll just give it a border radius value, and here I'll just do set border radius. Perfect. And here I'll also do border radius. Now by default it should be 20. Yeah, now this is perfect. Now let's try to do that thing with the box. So I don't want this background, I need a colorful background. So I'll just go to Google, I'll search colorful background, and here I'll just choose some good ones. So if I go to images, if I find the one which I used before, I would be so happy. I don't need to find the previous one, but if I do, so there are a lot of good ones here. You can choose anything you want. I'm gonna choose, I guess, this one. No, this is too small. Yeah, this one looks cool. I'm gonna just copy the image address. I'm gonna go back to React app. I'm gonna go back to VS Code and box container.css. I don't want it to have a background color. I want it to have it a background image, and I'm gonna specify URL, and that URL would be this which I just copied. Now if I go back, perfect. Now notice that this thing is so broken. The images are coming back and forth, like this doesn't make any sense. So how do I fix that? I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna say background size cover. So let me do that. Background size cover. Now if you save that, perfect. This photo is a little broken, but you can just get any photo from that. It doesn't matter. We just need a colorful background. So yeah, Now let's place a box in this. Now how do we do that? We will go to box container.js. We are gonna make a new box. So I'm gonna give it a box container, again following the bend convention, and I'm gonna give it a box. So okay, now if you go back here, you cannot see anything because we need to style the box to actually come in between the screen. What do we want? First of all, we need to have it width and height, and second of all, we want it to be in the center of the screen. So let's do that. So in box container.css, I'll give it no, didn't I copy that? Yeah, now I want it to be in the center. So first of all, I'll give it a display flex. No, actually wait, for this to have center you need to give flex to your parent. So I'll give it display flex align item center, justify content center. Perfect, now this will come to center. Now first I will give it a height of maybe 200, maybe 300 pixels, width of 300 pixels. I'm gonna give it a background color for now. Let's see. Yeah, this is good, but I guess we need 400 pixels for now. Let's give it a little bigger. Perfect. Now we don't need this background color right now. We just did that to test what is the size of our box. We are going to use style components here. So let's go to box container.js. Let's give it a style. So now here what I need to do, what are the things we need? First of all, we need the blur and we need the border radius. We are going to color, but just wait, let's first do blur and border radius. So let's give it a, let's take blur and border radius as props and we will pass that in. Okay, so now in here I'll just say backdrop filter and I will give it this is a string, so basically this is just a CSS. Now what I will do, I will use this because we need to concatenate values. Yeah, I usually forget the word. Now here what we will do is we're gonna concatenate the blur and we are going to write pixels. Now this is a bit, I mean this doesn't make any sense for first, but this is basically just a string and this is just passed to CSS, so that's not a big deal. Now what the thing is that backdrop filter is just supported by Chrome. Now what we want it to be supported by, I guess, Safari, so let's do that. So I need to do WebKit backdrop filter and I need to do the same thing here. So I'll just copy this and I'll paste this here. Perfect. Now I need the border radius, so let's do that. Border radius, and here I'll just say border radius should be, I mean that's very simple. I just need, oh no, I forgot the ES6 ones. Border radius, and I need to give it a pixel because this is CSS. And now let's save this, and if we see nothing because what happens is we didn't pass any values from this to this component. So let's go to app.js and let's give it box container. Let's just pass the things as props. So blur should be equal to blur and the border radius should be equal to border radius. Now also you cannot see anything. Oh, basically yeah, because that's blurred so that you can see, but this doesn't have any colors basically. So I mean yeah, that's because there's a lot of colors, you can see the blur. But now we need to set the color. So how do we do that? First of all, we need the color palette which we saw in the example. So how do we do that? I'm gonna bring a new package called React Color. So let's just stop the server. I'm gonna do npm install React Color. This is a very powerful library. Let's wait for it to install. Then I don't want to forget starting the server again, so I'll just gonna start the server as soon as this is done. So I'm gonna do npm start. This should start the server up. Let's wait. Nothing should change. I mean yeah, perfect. Now I'm gonna go here. After everything, I'm gonna again add a app control, and here there's a special component called sketch picker. Now this is the React color component which helps us to take colors. So if I just do it like this, you will see a color box. Yeah, this is compiling, so this will take time. Let's wait for it. Yeah, perfect. Now what I need to do is I need to set the colors here. So I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna make another state. So the one thing to remember is that we need to get the RGBA colors. Why do we need the A? Because we need to be able to set the transparency of this thing. So let's do that right now. So color, and I need to do set color, and here equals to use state, and here this is an object which will be r is equal to 0. RG, I mean, no, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's perfect. I was confused for a second. RG 0, B 0. So basically this is black, and now we will provide an A which will be like the transparency. So here I will give it a 0.5. Now here I'm gonna go and add like a new color class, so it has the color from the state. Now I'm gonna give it a pass in the color we had. Now this will automatically pass it, so that what will happen, now let me just save it and show you. Now what will happen, it already took this thing. We had entered 000 and 0.5 in the alpha, so it just took the value, and you see that this is a black and transparent thing in the sketch picker. So yeah, it just took values from the state. Now what we want to do is we want to change the state whenever someone changes the color. Now how do we do that? And this is something specific with React color. We do on change complete. Now here I need to have an E. So basically you can just name it anything. I'll just give it a color. Sorry, it's not, no, let's just give it a call. Okay, I mean, yeah, you can just give it anything. Now I'm gonna go set color. We are gonna change the state, and now we need to do call dot RGB. So hex means you are going to get the hex equivalent of the color, and now I'm going to use the RGB so that I get the RGB equivalent of the color, and it will be stored as an object. Now what I need to do, if I just go hit save, I'm gonna pass in the color here, and I'm gonna pass the color state here. Now you can see there's nothing, but now you can actually change the colors, and that's perfect. Now what will happen, I'll go to box container.js, I'm gonna bring in the color here, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do background color, and here this is gonna be a little dirty, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, RGBA, and now here I'm going to do color dot R, color dot G, color dot B, and lastly color dot A. So yeah, this should work. So let's see. Yo guys, this is perfect. Now we can change the border radius, we can change the blur. Yeah, we can change the blur, and we can also change the color, and we can also change it. Oh yeah, this works. This is perfect, guys. We made the class UI generator, but there's one more thing remaining. What is the thing remaining? We didn't make a text box which shows us the code how to do that, so let's do that right now. And this is going to be super easy, so I mean, let's just do it right now. So here I'm gonna go to app.js, and before the controls finish, I'm gonna introduce a new text area, and I'm gonna give it a class name of, I guess, app code. Yeah, I guess that's perfect. And now I'm gonna give it a value, and I'm gonna set this following. Now what is the CSS property for everything? Now first of all, we need to do backdrop filter, because that's what's used in blurring the background. So I'll do backdrop filter, we are just writing the CSS right now, nothing much special here. And here I'm gonna write, actually not here, I'm gonna do blur, and here I'm gonna do blur pixels. Yeah, basically the CSS. Now what I'm gonna do /n. What does this is makes a new line in the text area. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna copy this. Now I'm gonna use this for WebKit too. So how do I do that? WebKit backdrop filter, and I'm gonna paste that here. Perfect. Now I also need this to work with Mozilla. How do I do that? I'm gonna do Moz backdrop filter. I'm gonna paste that. Now what else do we have? Now we have the background color and border radius. So first let's do border radius. That's easy. So yeah, I'll just do border radius pixels. Perfect. Now there's one more thing, which is background color. So background color, and I'll just copy that thing. I mean, that makes no sense for me. Just write it again. I'm gonna just copy this thing. This is the exact same thing, and I'm gonna paste it here. Hopefully this works. Let's see. I've saved this. If I go here, okay, this we need to fix this, but okay. If I go here, I'll just change this stuff here. Yeah, you can see the border radius is changing. I'm changing the blur. I'm gonna change the color. Perfect, everything is working, and you see the code is changing, and you can just copy this code and use it in your own project. But this is not styled well, so let's do that right now. So let's go to our text editor. We have the class name app code. I'm just gonna copy this, and I'm gonna go to app.css. I'm gonna paste, and now I'm gonna give it a margin top of maybe 20 pixels, and a width, no, not word wrap, width of maybe 80%, and maybe a height of 200 pixels. Oh, 200 pixels way too much. I'm gonna give it like 100 pixels. Perfect. Now guys, boy oh boy, I mean, we just made the entire glass UI generator. I mean, this is awesome. Hit a like, guys. I mean, yeah, if you like the video, just hit the like. Now yeah, now you can just change the colors, you can just do anything you want, you can just, yeah, I mean, basically this is it. And you can use some better background, I mean, yeah. So I'm gonna put this to GitHub. Also guys, if you want to join my Discord server, link will be in the description. You can just join my server. So yeah, perfect. This is so perfect. Now yeah, you can just use it in your portfolio. This is gonna be a good project. I'm gonna make a few more generators right in the next videos. And subscribe, guys, if you like the video. If you want to support me, you can just subscribe to the channel. That means a lot for me. So anyways guys, we made the glass UI generator. I'm gonna see you in the next one.